Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's regular council meeting for the city of Dauphin. It is August 14th, 2023. Before we do get started, we'd like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and homeland of the Métis Nation. We affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobring. Be it resolved that council accepts the regular council meeting agenda as presented. No questions, no comments there. So all in favor? None opposed? Carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meetings. The regular council meeting all the way back on July the 10th of this year, and the special council meeting from July 24th. Any questions or comments regarding those minutes? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Whereas the Municipal Act, Section 160, number 2 states... Okay, we do not need that one. I see that now that there's no names down here, so we'll skip that resolution. And we'll move right on to moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be it resolved that council now adjourns to hear the public hearing as scheduled for today's meeting. No questions or comments there, so all in favor? None opposed? Carried. Council will now commence to hear representations from any person who wishes to make a presentation for the scheduled public hearing under the Planning Act. Anyone who has not yet registered but wishes to make a presentation for the public hearing, please state your name so we can add you onto our registration list. I don't see anybody in the room here, so we'll assume that there is no one to add to the list. And of course, this is public hearing for bylaw 06/2023, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to adopt a development plan. So we will now proceed with the public hearing for that said bylaw. Would the city manager like to speak in favor?
Yes, Deputy Mayor. Thank you very much. So municipalities have to abide by the Municipal Act, which governs everything that we do. But there's certain sections that are, I guess, doubly governed, and that is also by the Planning Act, and that's for land use and development. What we're here to have a public hearing for is a new development plan for the City of Dauphin. So a development plan is a document that promotes the optimum economic, social, environmental, and physical conditions of an area. The purpose of a development plan is to serve as a framework for formulating development policies and decisions, identifying factors relevant to the use and development of land, identify critical problems and opportunities concerning the development of land, setting forth desired timing, patterns, and characteristics of future development of land, establishing and specifying the programs and actions necessary for the implementation of a development plan, outlining the methods whereby the best use and development of land and other resources in adjacent municipalities, districts, or affected areas may be coordinated, and identifying those matters of government concern which affect the use and development of land and other resources within the municipality. There's a requirement also in the Planning Act for a periodic review of the development plan, and it does state that every 5 years after it comes into effect, it should, or from the date of the last review, it should be reviewed again. And so currently, the City of Dauphin's development plan was created in 2010 and adopted in 2012. So we are far past when we needed to review it. Speaking for senior management and in discussion with council during the creation and review process, we are pleased with the results of our development plan, which we're calling our city plan. And we feel that the document is more than just a development plan. It's a framework to move our community forward in 6 goal areas. And those are community and innovation, climate leadership and resilience, health and well-being, housing and neighborhoods, local economy and tourism, and truth and reconciliation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, City Manager. Does council have any questions regarding this bylaw or comments for that matter? Go ahead, Councillor Bellemare.
Just as a review, I mean, when we started this process, we had public input and we had the document was written and we all looked at it and it's been rewritten and the department or the various departments in the provincial government have looked at it and given us ideas and we've rewritten. It's been a long, thorough process and I think we have a document to be proud of. So let's get at her.
I was going to mention actually that you, myself, and Councillor Stakilo were a part of this in the last term when it began, and then obviously the new councillors and the mayor were even a part of it during those public consultations. I remember from the just before the election in the fall there. So it's great to see this kind of finally. Well, we're close to being wrapped up. We're on the finishing stretch now. So really exciting to see this being completed. Is there any other person present in support of the city development plan who wishes to speak? Is there any person present who wishes to speak in objection? With that being said, the representations for the public hearing are now completed. So moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that council now reconvenes to the regular council meeting. All in favor? None opposed? And that one's carried. Moved by Mayor Boziak, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be it resolved that the public hearing for bylaw 06/2023, being a bylaw to adopt a development plan, be now concluded. No questions or comments there. So all in favor? Opposed? None. And motion carried. Next is consent agenda. All these items will be under the filing. Number 5, this is A, action items. Number 1, outstanding receivable account added to taxes. Just one. That is 17 First Avenue Southwest for $430.82 for temporary storage. And that is recommended by the Director of Finance and the Tax Clerk. Number 2, under outstanding water accounts added to taxes, be it resolved that the following water accounts be added to taxes. 106 6th Avenue Southeast, $151.68. Previous tenant did not pay the final utility bill. That is the case for the rest of them, but I will read off the totals and the addresses. 401 3rd Avenue Northeast for $219.30. 31 McLeod Avenue East for $185.96. 29 3rd Avenue Southwest, $101.64. 114 2nd Avenue Northwest for $278.34. And lastly, number 124 5th Avenue Southeast for $232.42. That all totals up to $1,169.34. And that is all recommended by the Director of Finance and the Utility Clerk. Under 5B, filing items, number 1, Manitoba News Releases, Labor and Immigration Advisory Council, Economic Development, Investment and Trade. There's the support for Ukraine newcomers and the workforce development in rural and northern communities. Natural Resources and Northern Development's Pemmican Island. Under Justice, the increased funding for public safety, as well as the response to Auditor General reports. For Premier and Justice, the Order of the Buffalo Hunt to mark the 150th anniversary. Seniors and Long-Term Care Transportation Options Network for Seniors. Under Transportation and Infrastructure, the financial assistance for 2023's spring flooding. Under number 2, the Auditor General of Manitoba, the performance audits. Number 3, Community Futures Parkland, the new funding for the HUB program, and August 2023's newsletter. Under number 4, Prairie Mountain Health, the Health Plus newsletter for the summer of this year. Number 5, the Parkland Regional Library, the e-resources advertising, and the summer 2023 newsletter. Number 6, Municipal Relations, Strategic Infrastructure, Project Funding, and Municipal Economic Development Infrastructure Program. And lastly, number 7, the AMM, Association of Manitoba Municipalities Member Advisory, Municipal Funding Baskets being unfrozen. And that is all recommended by the Mayor and the city manager. So with that being said, moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Ray, be it resolved that all those items listed and read under item 5 consent agenda be approved and form part of these minutes. Any questions or comments regarding all of those items? Councillor Bellemare.
Yes, the question with regard to the hub, I see it's funded again. And so it had that beautiful location, the funding ended, they moved, now there's new funding. Do we know what that's going to look like moving forward?
I don't specifically. I'm sure that there is a heavy programming component, and they may be looking at, they're probably reviewing where they're going to be operating out of.
Thank you. And the other is just a comment. It was interesting to read the Auditor General's comments, particularly regarding the state of the addictions plan in our province. And I think that dovetails into our community safety and well-being plan, just to know what's out there and how that is not coordinated very well. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following corporate report for the August 14th, 2023 meeting, the regular council meeting, that is, the city manager's report for the month of July. Take it away, city manager.
Thanks again, Deputy Mayor. So for the month of July, seems like it was a long time ago already. We're already halfway into August. But for July, seems like the meetings did slow down a little bit, and I was able to be away for 6 vacation days. And as I start my report, I say that the summer months are historically slower at City Hall, allowing people to enjoy some well-deserved vacation time. Frequency of meetings have slowed, and it's been nice to have some room to breathe. A few of the things that I've been working on are as follows. The Child Care Center. So during July, we worked on the RFP for the Child Care Service Organization, posted it, and it closed on Friday at noon. We have 2 proposals, and we will be looking at that on Thursday this week. Later in July, we started to work on the request for proposal for the designer, architect, engineer / project manager component of the project. We'd hope to have that RFP done and posted at the end of July. We're looking at posting it soon in August here. Next one is the Dauphin Business Park. The Economic Development Manager and I have been meeting with the arm of Dauphin regarding a possible sale of land in the business park. Next is the 2023 tax collection. And as council will see later on in the agenda, the Director of Finance has provided that tax collection report. But for 4 new council members, just wanted to highlight what this report is and some of the things that we see on it. So property taxes for the City of Dauphin are due July 31st of each year, and that is for that year. So in 2023, your taxes are due July 31st. The Director of Finance puts together a report and has put together this report for more than 10 years now, but he does show 10 years on that report. And it's for the taxes collected between January 1st and August 3rd. And so that compares the years 2014 to 2023. So a few things to highlight from 2023. The prior year's balance forward, so the unpaid taxes from last year at the start of this year was the lowest it has been in 10 years. Taxes are due, while the taxes are due on the 31st of July, a significant number of payments were made in the first 3 days of August. 2023 had the most amount of money paid on the first 3 days of August in the last 10 years. So it seems like there was a lot of people who maybe missed that date, but came in to pay quite quickly after that. June saw an unusually high amount of taxes paid, more than any other June in the last 10 years. And as of August 3rd, 88.6% of outstanding 2023 taxes were paid. And this is the highest percentage paid since 2016. We don't necessarily analyze any of this data to help us further explain the numbers, but when we're looking at numbers here in the office here, we just compare a few things and see that it's hard to conclude anything, but it's nice to see that people are paying their taxes. That's great. I'll conclude by saying that on July 27th, it was the first time I was able to visit inside the Vermilion Growers greenhouse, and I was blown away. What a state-of-the-art facility. The technology is amazing. I've never been in a greenhouse like that before, and it's a little, I've driven by them in different parts of Canada and really hadn't thought anything about it. It just kind of looked like these white, milky, lit greenhouse things over there, and I really didn't appreciate it, but being inside, it's amazing. I found it really interesting how they did their presentation regarding the details of the facility and some of the technology in it and how the processes work. They said they're going to be using good bugs to combat the bad bugs, so I found that fascinating. The construction of it has been a driver in our economy, and the operation of future expansion will continue to contribute. So congratulations to Vermilion Growers. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments regarding the city manager's report? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following corporate reports for the August 14th, 2023 regular Council meeting, that of the Deputy City Manager for June and July of this year. Any questions or comments regarding that report? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that the finance accounts, having been examined by council, be hereby authorized and approved as follows. Check totals ranging from number 31732 to 31929. That's 197 checks totaling $5,430,688.33. Voided checks in the current range. Funny story behind this one. It's from August 10th of 2023. It's check number 31900 for the Minister of Finance, totaling just under $900,000. I talked to the Director of Finance, and he said this was the one that was destroyed, and then on the other sides of it, the other check was like $20 on one side, and the other was like $30. And he said, well, that sucks. It was the one that was almost $900,000 that had to be wrecked and destroyed. So just caught a break there. But anyways, that one's damaged/destroyed. There were a couple voided checks in past ranges from May 25th. Check number 31540 of Lillian Stobie, $41.32. The check was reissued to the estate. And for July 7th, 2023, check number 31726, Valerie McInnes, $150. The payment was canceled there. For electronic payments, there were 5 in July, totaling $201,079.05. Any questions or comments regarding those numbers? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the unaudited financial statements before PSAB adjustments for the period ending May 31st of this year, including number 1, the general fund balance sheet and income statement, and number 2, the utility fund balance sheet and income statement. Any questions or comments regarding those statements? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? None opposed? And this motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the reserve report for the period ending May 31st of this year. Any comments or questions regarding that report? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the 2023 property tax collection report. Heard a little bit of detail from the city manager there. Any other questions or comments regarding that? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? None opposed. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following staff engineering report for tonight's regular Council meeting. That is the building inspector report for July. Any questions or comments regarding that report? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved, the council accepts as information the following protective services report for tonight's regular council meeting. That is the bylaw enforcement officer, his report for July. Any questions or comments on that report? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following protective services reports for tonight's regular council meeting, this time for the animal control officer for the months of June and July. Any questions or comments regarding those months' reports? Seeing none, call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the minutes from the following committees. The Communities in Bloom Committee, they had their one of their latest regular meetings back on May 25th. And the Intermountain Watershed District to June 15th, their regular board meeting as well. Any questions or comments regarding those minutes? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Daly. Whereas a requirement of the Police Services Act and as part of the public safety funding basket, the Manitoba Department of Justice provides municipalities with an urban policing grant to fund local police services. And whereas in a news release dated July 17th, 2023, the government of Manitoba announced increased funding for the Public Safety Basket and Urban Policing Grant to support increasing municipal policing costs, reflecting a revised per capita calculation aligned with 2021 census data, as well as an overall 28% funding increase. So be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated July 26, 2023 from Owen Ferguson, Executive Director, Policing Services and Public Safety, Manitoba Justice Public Safety Division, advising that Manitoba Justice will provide the City of Dauphin with $1,204,227 in urban policing grant funding for 2023-24, reflecting an increase of $264,437 over previous years to support law enforcement and improve public safety in our community. Any questions or comments? Go ahead, City Manager.
Thank you. So we wanted to highlight this one. Normally we get press releases or letters like this, and we just put them in the consent agenda, but we wanted to have an opportunity to highlight some extra money that we're getting from the province, and that's wonderful. But just to note that the subsidy or grant that we get for our policing was the same for 6+ years prior to this. So we all know that from 2016, 2017, costs of policing have really, really increased, and it's nice to be getting extra money, but our costs have surpassed this increase significantly.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Whereas Dauphin Grown Vermilion Growers Limited has completed a state-of-the-art 10-acre glass greenhouse in Dauphin that will grow vine tomatoes for distribution to central Canada, and plans to add an additional 60 acres by 2025 to grow sweet peppers and cucumbers for an expected output of more than 31 million kilograms of produce per year once both phases are fully operational. Be it resolved that council accepts this information, a news release dated July 28th, 2023 from Agriculture Minister Derek Johnson announcing the opening of the first phase of the Vermilion Growers Limited hydroponics greenhouse project, which will employ approximately 34 full-time staff, with a projected 210 full-time workers being employed upon the completion of Phase 2. And further, be it resolved that Council congratulates Vermilion Growers Limited for bringing competitive, sustainable, and innovative agri-food industry to Dauphin, and for showing the potential to become one of the largest employers in the Parkland region. Anyone want to make any questions or comments regarding that opening? I know there were a bunch of us there. It was a great event, well attended. Yeah, go ahead, City Manager. Yeah.
Sure, I just wanted to, same thing as the last, except it's all a good news story. We wanted to make sure that this didn't get just put aside into our consent agenda. As I mentioned, this is a fabulous facility, and we're looking forward to it starting up and everybody having tomato sandwiches for lunch for a month. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call those. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Bellemare, whereas since 2007, the City of Dauphin has been leasing office space at CNR Place to MCW/AGE Consulting Engineers, who currently occupy units B1 and C under a 5-year term from January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2024. And whereas with Shared Health Incorporated having vacated Unit D as of April 1st, 2023, MCW/AGE has decided to surrender Unit B1 and take over Unit D, thereby occupying Units C and D for a total office space area of 1,438.58 feet. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information a lease agreement with MCW AGE Consulting Engineers for the period September 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2024, outlining the terms for relinquishing Unit B1 at CNR Place and occupying Units C and D for a monthly rental cost of $2,325.70 plus applicable taxes, which reflects the increase in area to be occupied at the current rate of $19.40 per square foot, and a memorandum dated July 5th, 2023 from the Deputy City Manager recommending that the new lease agreement be approved. And further be it resolved that Council agrees with the Deputy City Manager's recommendation and authorizes the lease agreement with MCW AGE Consulting Engineers for Units C and D at CNR Place to be signed and sealed by the Mayor and the City Manager on behalf of the City of Dauphin. A lot of letters in there. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call those. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Whereas Council encourages the recognition of outstanding achievements, initiatives, projects, significant milestones, and accomplishments of individuals, volunteers, businesses, and organizations that contribute to the betterment of the City of Dauphin, be it resolved that Council accepts as information Community Recognition Policy 1.1 and a memorandum from the Deputy City Manager noting that this policy provides structure and guidance for recognizing outstanding contributions to our community while ensuring that recognition aligns with the values, mission, and goals of Council as a whole, and recommending that this policy be approved. And further be it resolved that Council agrees with the Deputy City Manager's recommendation and approves Community Recognition Policy 1.1. Any questions or comments regarding that policy? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, and motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information Attendance Support Policy 2.7 and a memorandum dated July 20th, 2023 from the Deputy City Manager noting that this policy provides guidelines and a structured process for City of Dauphin managers to follow when assisting staff with attendance support and recommending that this policy be approved. So further be it resolved that Council agrees with the Deputy City Manager's recommendation and approves Attendance Support Policy 2.7. Any questions or comments on that policy? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information Return to Work Policy 2.8 and a memorandum dated July 20th, 2023 from the Deputy City Manager noting that this policy provides guidelines and a structured process for City of Dauphin managers to follow when assisting staff with a safe return to work following illness, injury, or disability, and recommending that this policy be approved. So further be it resolved that council agrees with the deputy city manager's recommendation and approves return to work policy 2.8. Any questions or comments on this policy? Seeing none, call the questions. All in favor? None opposed, motion carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stakilo, whereas the City of Dauphin's Community Safety and Wellbeing Committee is a newly formed external committee that is governed by council and will include council and city-appointed citizen representation as voting members. And whereas the appointment of any council member to any external committee governed by council may only be made by a resolution of council. So be it resolved that council appoints councillors Kathy Bellemare, Randy Daly, and Ted Ray as the council representatives on the Community Safety and Wellbeing Committee. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? None opposed, motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Bellemare, whereas according to the City of Dauphin travel and expense policy, all out-of-province travel must receive prior approval by council, and councillors are permitted to attend up to 2 out-of-province conferences during an elected term. And be it resolved that the council accepts as information correspondence dated August 7th, 2023 from Councillor Ted Ray requesting approval to attend the Canadian Municipal Network on Crime Prevention Annual Conference happening in Regina, October 23rd to the 25th of this year. And further be it resolved that council approves this out-of-province travel request and authorizes all costs to be borne by the City of Dauphin. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? None opposed. Motion carried. Have fun, Ted. Yes, take good notes. Moved by Councillor Ray and seconded by Mayor Boziak. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated August 2nd, 2023 from Amanda Novak, Executive Director for the Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal Corporation, requesting a letter supporting DNRC's application for a Manitoba Homelessness Support Services grant to provide tiered housing support services that would create a pathway for individuals to successfully transition out of homelessness. Further be it resolved that council appreciates DNRC's efforts to provide critical tiered housing support services to Dauphin's most vulnerable residents and authorizes a letter supporting DNRC's application for a homelessness support services grant to make this important work possible. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Daly, be it resolved that Bylaw 5/2023, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin, amending Bylaw 02/2009 for the regulation and control of traffic and parking, no parking zones on 6th Avenue Southwest, be now read a second time. Call the question. All in favor? None opposed. Motion carried. And now moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Mayor Boziak, be it resolved that Bylaw 5/2023, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin, amending Bylaw 02/2009 for the regulation and control of traffic and parking, again, that is the no parking zones on 6th Avenue Southwest, be now read a third time and be signed and sealed by the Deputy Mayor and the City Manager. This is a recorded vote, so I will call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray, be it resolved that Bylaw 6/2023, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to adopt a development plan, be now read a second time. No questions or comments, so call the questions. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. Was that supposed to say first time? Okay, we did do it earlier. I couldn't remember.
Maybe Deputy City Manager could just walk us through the process. So we
Yeah.
read it the first time, we had a public hearing, we
Sure.
read it the second time, and now what?
Yes, so we have first reading on, I believe, June 26th, and then it was sent to community planning to be reviewed by various governmental departments. We received comment back last week to proceed with second reading, and now it needs to go back to the minister for review and approval, and once we hear back from them, we will go to third reading, so hopefully sometime in September.
Perfect. Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, on the final stretch. No questions or comments, so all in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following invitations. Number one, Dauphin Girl Guides, Manitoba Girl Guides, National Camp Opening Ceremony. That's happening on August 20th of this year, in just a couple weeks. That's very exciting. And number two, Ukrainian Independence Day Ceremony on August 24th. Further, be it resolved that all expenses related to council and senior administration attending these events be borne by the City of Dauphin. Any questions or comments regarding those events? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the councillors' reports for the regular council meeting of tonight. And I won't start online. I'll save Mayor Boziak till the end. So we'll go to my left. And Councillor Sobering, take her away.
Thanks, Deputy Mayor. I missed one meeting, July 24th, a PMP meeting, but I did attend a number of announcements and events subsequently. I attended the August 1st announcement at the Northwest Métis Council Hall, $1 million for the Early Childhood Educator Training Program to train Ukrainian immigrants for early childhood education. I attended the August 4th announcement from the Premier of the province regarding the Mamaway Park and $400,000 that's being forwarded to that project. I attended a number of meetings regarding Riverside Cemetery, one of which was on the 2nd, was delivered virtually by Web Cemeteries, a software system that we're proposed to implement. I did a site visit with the engineer, economic development, and contractor, general contractor, regarding the Creative Commons. So we're slowly moving the wheels on the background work on that project, just some of the details before we actually begin the project in earnest as far as the bricks and mortar side. And then I think a few of the things, I attended a handy van meeting where we discussed the purchase of a new van, and I attended a street fair pancake breakfast. And I also attended the opening of a brewery, so that may be why that kind of consumed a lot of my waking hours for the last few weeks. So that is my report.
Thank you, Councillor Sobering, and we're still waiting for drinks at some point here for a council meeting. Maybe for after a meeting, not before, though. We'll move to Councillor Stakilo.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. For myself, July 10th, regular council meeting, July 24th, special council meeting, and then followed up right after that with the planning and priorities meeting. I was in attendance for the July 27th grand opening of Vermilion Growers, and just saved my comments till now, as opposed to earlier in the council meeting. Just want to extend my congratulations and job well done to the Vermilion Growers group. It's an extremely valuable asset for our community, and I wish them all the success moving forward. August 2nd, had a rec board meeting. August 3rd, I attended the street fair a couple of times throughout the day. Again, just they always do such a great job organizing that. Stephen Shikoda and the Chamber of Commerce group, they put in a lot of hours leading up to that, and have done a wonderful job year after year, and this year was no exception. So congrats and a big thank you to them. August 4th, as Councillor Sobering mentioned, the sort of informal meeting with the Premier in Mamaway Park. I was in attendance for that as well, and appreciated hearing all the investment in not only in Dauphin but in the Parkland region. August 5th, I was able to attend the parade this year. It's been a little while since I've been able to jump on the float, so thanks to everyone involved getting the float ready and for taking us around the route. And the 5th and 6th, I was able to take in the Ukrainian festival, and it was really beautiful weekend. Both nights I attended, it was just a great experience and a really great thing for our community and for the region. So with that ends my report.
Thank you, Councillor Stakilo. Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. On July 24th, I also attended the special council meeting on planning and priorities. And then on July 31st, Riverside Cemetery Committee hired Catherine Roswell as our new office administrator. And she brings many great skills to this position. And we're looking forward to developing new initiatives with her. Also, we're still looking for a groundskeeper. So if you or someone you know is interested, please contact the cemetery office or myself. I attended a couple of cemetery meetings as well with Council Sobering and the parade, and attended a meeting with the Dauphin and Area Welcoming Citizens Coalition. I also gave greetings at the MMF regional meeting virtually because I was unable to attend in person, so that was pretty neat to be able to do that. I attended the Vermilion Growers grand opening as well. The first set of tomato plants are arriving at the beginning of September, which is very exciting, and 35 people will be employed full-time. So congrats to Lucky and Maria Deschauer and Mark Cohan for leading this huge business initiative. And there are comments being made about future expansion plans. It's sort of, they're dangling that. So we're just waiting to get the official details on that. So we'll stay tuned for getting that information. On August 4th, I attended that meet and greet with our premier. And I'm a community member with the Mamawi Committee. And we recently found out that we're getting $400,000 from the province to support our project. The Premier listened as each of the grant recipients in our region did a brief overview of their project. So it was pretty impressive to hear about what's going on in the community and in the region. And community leaders make great things happen in their communities. So it was really neat to be in a room where so much was happening. On August 8th, I heard Martine, our Economic Development Officer, speak at a Rotary meeting about the Creative Common initiative currently being developed. Wow, this is such a creative project, and it's going to assist our community members as they develop skills and businesses and hobbies. So more information coming on that. We've talked about Girl Guides coming in a week. There's going to be about 500 guides with their leaders in our community. So you're going to see the Girl Guides around the community doing various activities and learning and practicing all kinds of things that week. I think we're even getting them to do some weeding or something in Communities in Bloom. Yeah, so a big warm welcome to our Girl Guides. I just wanted to mention too the Ukrainian festival. It was a really high-class, extremely successful event this year. On Saturday night, I would say that the performers were world-class. Like, I just could not believe the quality of what I was seeing up there on stage. And no, by the way, it wasn't my dance group. We danced on Friday, and I just want to point out we were the only group that got a standing ovation on Friday night, just saying. So the parade was attended by a very large number of people, and related to this, our province has sent out information outlining how our province is #1 in Canada for supporting recent Ukrainian immigration on 7 different benchmarks. And in Dauphin, we have had 60 new immigrants move here in the first 6 months of this year. So a lot of support for our Ukrainian friends happening in our town and in our province. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Ray.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin. July 10th, I attended our last regular council meeting. On the 11th, I volunteered at the Fort Dauphin Museum to help out with the Dauphin 125th birthday celebration. On the 13th, I went on a tour of the Ross Allen housing complex in Winnipeg. July 19th, I attended the CMNCP Zoom session. On the 24th, I attended our last PNP meeting here at City Hall. July 27th, I was also present at Vermilion Growers' grand opening celebration, which is very exciting to see the amount of progress that they've made since we first had our tour a few months ago. So it's great to see it going. August 2nd, I attended the Rec Committee meeting at the Cup. And on August 4th, I attended the meeting with the Premier at the Cup and also took in the street fair. And I just wanted to pass along that I've received countless positive comments about the street fair this year, and great job by Stephen and his crew there. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. Councillor Daly.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I attended the PNP meeting on July 24th as well. Excuse me. On July 31st, I had a couple of telephone meetings with the Justice Department with respect to a camera project that we have on the go. That sort of went on all week. And then on August 3rd, had a update meeting with DNRC Executive Director Amanda Novak on operations at DNRC Community Center and their grant proposal for the homelessness project. That was a lot of work. They only had 7 days to actually put that in once they were notified. So, and 2 of those days was on a weekend. So it was an impressive effort to put it in. They hope to hear back already by today, but I just checked and she hasn't. She hopes they will notify them this week. They have people lined up to hire if they can get this thing going to coordinate all those efforts. Also reported that the roof repairs are 90% completed. I also attended the Chamber of Commerce Street Fair several times. French fries once, donuts again, got to spread it out. It was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. And then the rest of the week had a few other meetings with respect to the aforementioned project, which did not become an announcement. So, yeah, that was a lot of hours wasted. But anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. Mayor Boziak, I know you've been very
Thank
active
you.
as of late.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Lachlan. Just wanted to say that first, thanks, a shout out to the city for the card and the fruit basket. That's a lot of fruit for someone to eat, but appreciated the gesture. Just follow up, I've been hanging out at home. I'm just about 2 weeks into post-surgery recovery. Everything seems to be going as well as it can. So I've been keeping up to date on your activities, and I've been spying on all of you through electronic and other means. So just keep up the good work. There's been a lot of good things that have been happening. And even though, as Charlotte indicated a little bit earlier, that summer slows down, and the actual things that affect our community still are occurring. So I want to acknowledge both staff and council for continuing to pay attention to the files that are of most importance to us now, but also, you know, to look after the business of the city as well as everyone has been. I'm not going to delay or belabor any points right now, but just to say that the plan is for me to continue to stay away. Not that I want to stay away from people. It's just I don't move very well, and I've been encouraged to continue to move very slowly because most of the people that I've talked to have said they've injured themselves because they started to feel pretty good and they did something they shouldn't have and then had a setback. And so I have a 6-week follow-up mid-August in Winnipeg. I'll finally actually see the surgeons in Winnipeg. I would like to comment, just for your information, that the support and care I received in Ontario was exceptional. And there's also some online support services, and I'm getting tremendous care from this Thunder Bay orthopedic group that did my surgery that makes the Manitoba system pale in comparison. So I don't know if that's anything to consider as we move forward and get towards the election in October. But my personal experience has been very positive. And I'd just like to again acknowledge all the hard work you're doing and keep doing it. And I will continue to monitor and spy on you electronically and otherwise over the next couple of weeks.
Thank you very much, Mayor Boziak, and we all look forward to your hula hoop demonstration when you return to the office in a month or so. For myself, I'll be quick. July 10th, the regular council meeting at City Hall. On the 24th, planning and priorities meeting at City Hall, as well as the special council meeting. On the 27th, the Communities in Bloom meeting here at City Hall. I also attended and spoke at the Vermilion Growers grand opening. I'll just quickly reiterate, congratulations to the group. As I mentioned a few times, I'm a big tomato guy, so really looking forward to seeing those in the stores, especially our local stores, in the coming months. August 3rd, I volunteered at the Dauphin Chamber Street Fair. Just again, congratulations to the organizers. There was a successful year. Definitely seemed like a lot better turnout than previous years, which is great to see. And lots of people were having lots of pops there too, so that was nice. August 4th, the next day, I attended the meet and greet with the Premier as well at the Parkland Rec Complex for a number of awarded grants. And earlier in the day, I volunteered at the Gate for Canada's National Ukrainian Festival. I actually met a lot of people who said it was their first festival this year, and I know the turnout was really good. So I just want to congratulate the president and the board of directors. I know the president was on the fence of returning for next year, but she says that the way things went this year, I think she's coming back, or she says she thinks she's coming back for another 5 years. So that's great to hear, Kayla. And lastly, I attended the CNUF parade on August 5th as well. That was really well attended. So want to thank everybody from the city side who got the float together for the parade. And it was fun to drag along with Kathy Bellemare and Devin Skylo and wave to everybody in the crowd. It was definitely well attended, not only from a float perspective, but from a crowd perspective as well. So kudos to everyone there. With that being said, just quickly, accepting councilors' reports, we'll call the questions. So all in favor? None opposed, so motion carried. And moved by Mayor Boziak, seconded by Councilor Bellemare. Be it resolved that the council meeting be recessed